Hi everyone, welcome to Canalización Armonía. My name is Luz. If you're tapping in here for the first time, I'm going to do channel messages for this full moon. I already pre-shuffled just a moment ago, and right before that, when I was outside meditating on what was coming through, was a message about balance, just specifically about like something being mirrored. I would see a diamond, like a diamond shape with different other geometric add-ons. Add-ons like sacred geometry has infinite add-ons. It just keeps going. I would see like arrows across, but just all within that diamond shape. And I took my notes today because, I didn't want to forget. And I took notes of this intuitive message of just summoning, for example, the yin yang energy, the dark and light, whatever resonates for you in regards to bringing more harmony and balance. Also, what's coming through, like mirrored meaning. If you have a partner, for example, mirror meaning with anyone, with your family, etc. But that was coming through, and I feel like this has to do with something that is going to be, of course, illuminated, right? Like maybe after the full moon, maybe not necessarily around now, but maybe after. So that's something that's coming through. The energy of fire was the other thing that came through, and how it's the same frequency of movement, right? Fire transmutes and is movement, and it's the full moon. You can get sunbathed by the full moon, and there's your fire energy too. Just really about movement in regards to the physical body. This is quite literal movement, and a movement in the physical body can also be breath, of course. That's you breathing, moving the wind through your lungs. So all of that was coming through. But I want to get to your reading. And first we have Ancient Future. Then we have Shine Your Light. And I decided to write some messages down in my booklet, my intuitive notes booklet, and it says, let your light shine. And then Shine Your Light card comes out, of course. So there's something about this need of, like, in regards to yin yang, what is coming through is letting your light shine in regards to your art or your expression or your purpose, whatever your mission is or whatever you are choosing to do in service of others, but at the same time for your own heart, right? In your own essence, what you love doing, your passion, and doing it with also your sacred structure, let's say, aligned with it. Just not, shooting all of these messages everywhere, and like it can get kind of chaotic. Yes, that's it. That would be energy of chaos if we didn't have divine structure, right? If we didn't have our divine father, just like our divine mother that creates and, channels all these messages. She's the one that brings everything to creation, right? But we also need the sacred father that puts order, the sacred masculine, right? Just like the sacred feminine does the flow, the sacred masculine gives a shape so that it can give to others, so that it can actually get to others, and that it can actually get to your life and improve your life and improve your health or your finances, whatever, etc. And I feel like there's a need, for example, with this intuitively, there's something about you also taking your own notes. And this could be symbolically in lots of ways. It could be just for the first time writing down the steps for you to do a certain job, and depending on what you work on, depending on what you do, right? If you, for example, build machines that create sound or you build musical instruments. That's what's coming through. For some reason, musical instruments. Maybe because of the shine your light. This has to do with music. You now write down everything you need and how it's going to go, and you plan it, and then you get to action, right? And then you put everything together. Maybe if you cook and you just cook and create in the spot spontaneously, maybe now you want to think of the ingredients and write them down. And then the next day, get to your ingredients, pull them out, set them on the table, cut your food, your veggies, whatever, set your herbs, chop them up, and set them on bowls, and then, throw them into the pan or pot and start cooking as of putting the pot in the fire first and then getting to everything else later, and then just cutting on the spot while the water boils or something like that. That's what's coming through. Like, the divine structure is important in this message. I want to read our ancient future. It says, wisdom from indigenous peoples, ancestors holding the keys for the future, ancient remembering, bloodlines, how the past affects the future, a time to step up, timeless power symbols, activations for powerful shifts. Yeah, that resonates actually. Like, if you're seeing like symbols somewhere, like maybe on your mind's eye, maybe when you're daydreaming or when you're dreaming, if you're someone that sees a lot of sacred geometry, when you're falling asleep, just in the limbo before you fall asleep, if y'all know what I mean, before, like right before, like if you really like just look into the depth of that dark void in your mind's eye. And this could be, a form of being present, of grounding as well, because really, when we try to go to sleep and either we have our phone or we're just like thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow, right? Or what you did today, I think that could be something about that around this full moon. Could be like really paying attention to the shapes that you see, because it says sacred symbols, power, timeless power symbols. So timeless means that they really don't exist in our line of linear time here in the 3D. They exist way past that, in the dimensions and above of that. And whatever you see it, and whenever you see this video also, like, this could be your cue to start thinking about letting go and relaxing and paying attention to those intuitive downloads that are going to come through your own third eye and crown. But let's read. Right now, the legends of the Lemurian civilization feel important, as the wisdom from this ancient time is relevant. The fall of Lemuria alerts us to the possibility that humanity may face if we live without respect for the earth. An ancient remembering is emerging. Many of the seed crystals and knowledge they are imbued with the becoming unearthed. All those who can see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift this paradigm into balance. It is said that the Lemurians who survived the fall traveled the planet and ended up in the places where inspiring indigenous knowledge far outweighs what Western minds have come to prioritize. The ancient Egyptians, Mayans, Inca, Tibetans, Maoris, indigenous Australians, and Hopi are examples. These ancient knowledge, keepers of earth and ethers have been holding the key for a new world. We are being called back to our roots to acknowledge the infinite wisdom available when we drop to our knees in humble receptivity. To move gracefully forward, we must first stand in our power for places, ethics, and conservation of what matters most. Okay. Yeah, something else was coming through about this movement message. It was very soft and graceful, but at the same time, it could get sharp in moments. And this reminds me kind of like Tai Chi. This reminds me of Kung Fu. Some of you are in the martial arts, and this is for you. When you're flowing and moving slow, and then all of a sudden you spin your arms around, and you set, and you throw your arms to the sky, and then you pause. And this is also related to dance, of course. There's a lot of elements that could be part of this message, and just how it's necessary sometimes to shake it off, to shake that shit off your body and the trauma, and literally have this turbulent movement, fast, turbulent, and shaky movement through you. And that needs to be balanced with the breath and with the stillness that it brings in the spaces in between and the momentum, right? And this is what it says here, like to move gracefully. First, you need to consider, what's important. You need to make your plan in some sort of way. That I think this is what Spirit's trying to say. That you need to make, for example, your choreography or something of such matter, that is going to dictate how you go through this, because you can't just be running all the time and getting all turbulent all the time. You do need to, okay, this is a specific message too if some of you are traveling, but Spirit just put in my mind's eye, I saw the airplane, the airplanes in which sometimes there are turbulences, which hopefully not, that often. Sometimes there are, like when animals go through trauma and they need to shake off and have this turbulent kind of movement, and then they keep going onto their lives. So it's a small part of it. There's a message of like not letting anger control you and dictate your direction and guide you where you're going, but letting it be part of you, accompanying you, but then you taking the steering wheel, right? And being the majority of it, being just like the yin yang, there is darkness. There's always that element in the part of the white part, right? Of the yang. But it's a majority of it is light, And I think that has to do also with just moving forward and the conservation of what matters the most, like the booklet was saying. Just feeling like what matters the most. For example, if this is something about a career, like what matters the most? Yes, that I make money out of it, but what matters the most is that I enjoy doing it, that it doesn't kill me eventually, right? That it doesn't kill me in a sense that it drives me to such boredom and lack of motivation that it's really, I'm dying inside because I'm not doing what I love, right? It's getting it's getting my ends meet, or getting my ends met, but is it really turning on that fire from my heart, And things to consider, I know it's hard to align what your purpose is and with you supporting your life, financially. That's hard, and I get it, but this is the thing, like if there's graceful movement through it, through the emotions, there was also a message of emotional intelligence, and this could be this ancestral knowledge that we got in this first card. So that would matter. Maybe some of you want to ask your abuelitos, like, well, what was my great aunt like, or like, did anyone in her family treated this like doing this, So you could just obtain a little wisdom from your elders. That's something that's us coming through. Let's keep reading. As illuminated beings ready to make a change in the collective consciousness, we can sometimes take on what seems like more than our fair share of karma. We might be clearing some of the wounds from our ancestors. With this in mind, we can ease through the waves, allowing guidance and empowered perspective to lead us to the greatest good. This card is imbued with activations for new paradigm. You're now being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. Partake in activities that help you drop into a meditative state as often as possible. Use clearing tools to raise your vibration and don't get caught up on the destination. Focus on the journey and experience. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will be your guide. Yeah, and I think this might have to do with career for a lot of you because we got the Six of Pentacles reversed right under it. We got the Three of Cups and Six of Pentacles right under our ancient future. So the Three of Cups could be a gathering where you're gonna discover something that maybe there's not enough resources for something that you thought there were, and just really discerning, financial decisions is what is coming through. This could also be about some unfair dynamic going on at the labor place for most of you, but this could be in any sort of relationship or connection or space even. This could really mean for you to plan ahead, again, have some sort of structure in whoever you're planning this with, because I feel like it's with a group because of the Three of Cups. Or this could also mean you're just gonna celebrate soon something and really be aware of like hidden agendas, because we got the Six of Pentacles. If you're gonna, for example, celebrate just getting a raise or being put up in a leveling up of your position at work or something, just really looking at that and what it really requires from you and what you will really have to give, because it just feels like this full moon is gonna reveal something. And this is for just a specific person, but there might be some sort of extortion going on, money-wise, of course, and someplace or some investment. So paying attention to that. And for a lot of you, this might just be something that will make you think about how generous you are with specific someone, or at work, for example, with your team or something. There may be some sort of like somebody over abusing your giving nature, so paying attention to that as well. I get for a few of you this is in family members. And what else is coming through? I feel like there might be some sort of just group meeting or a call or something that you do need to attend. This might be like, okay, a family gathering maybe. And it could be, for example, like, a celebration of not the passing, but when somebody, they have their celebration anniversary of them passing, like something like that's coming up because of your ancient future. Something that's just like in your family tree with those who are before you that, of course, are not in this realm anymore. Something about that is coming through, okay? So paying attention to that around this full moon, trying to do your best to attend, and maybe setting or settling things that have to do with whatever is being, like, how do you say it? Like, whatever is being given to each family member. If this person just passed, if they just transitioned and they left something, properties, financial assets, or something, like even debts, just being careful and really analyzing that's coming through. Well, that was a lot. That felt a little dense. Yeah, there might be some sort of stress going around that, or some sort of generational pattern that you keep repeating, and you learning more about where you come from and your ancestors, or maybe even just asking them directly, literally asking them, like putting on a candle on your altar, building one, around this woman and asking it while you stargaze or something. This could be like way back, like not even in this linear time. Maybe it could be like in a parallel timeline, and you ask your galactic family, your ancestral galactic family. Or like the booklet was saying, the Lemurians, they're not galactic because they were here on Earth. And asking them, for example, because we all come from this civilizations from the past, we derived from them when continents weren't even formed yet. That's something that's coming through. I want to read to you, shine your light. Shine your light, doing what you love, time to thrive, giving from the overflow, life purpose, being authentically you, compassionate, self-empowerment, loving life, trying things you resonate with, bringing joy to others by being an inspiration. Where can you shine your light? When you have a purpose, you will also have timeless energy and no joy. Where can you grow enthusiasm in your life? Consider how you can be more aligned with your passions so you can harness your light. It might be time to return to something you enjoyed but stopped doing for no good reason. You are a sovereign being. Regain compassionate empowerment and remember what lights up your world. So this is some sort of there's some sort of energy of stagnation. Okay. And that has to do with whatever you're doing, of course, your life purpose. This is more about that. For a lot of you, it is a relationship. Here with the Five of Swords reversed, there's a sense of just you separating from a person, or just maybe overcoming a breakup, forgiven, but not going back together. There's some sort of sense of that. But if this is about a workplace, there may be some sort of, there's a sense of like hurt, and I feel like that around this full moon is the perfect time to release it, because there might be, okay, so for some of you, there might be a sense of revenge is either from you. If you haven't realized this is in your subconscious. Maybe pay attention to what you dream. If you still dream of being angry at someone, or there will be elimination, okay, around this full moon. For sure, might be some kind of feeling in regards to you from somebody else. It's from an outside source towards you. There's a sense of maybe envy or revenge. With the Five of Swords reversed, maybe this is like, somebody is angry that they did not get what they deserved, that you're getting it. Maybe this is the job position. If you work like in a big team, in a big in a big group of people, maybe they just feel like you're gaining more than them, or this is you feeling like no matter what your efforts are, you're just like suspended, like the hanging man in reverse. There's no advance. There's some sort of just the sense of stalling. And Spirit wants you to know that you will be getting what you're working for. And it might seem like you're doing so much and sacrificing so much, and you're still not getting nothing in return. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Just please have patience. And maybe you need to explain this to someone. Please have patience, like we will get there. Maybe this is just like an everybody wins common goal that you have, a project that you have, or of some sort, maybe at school as well. This could be anything that you collaborate with, because we also have the Three of Cups. So that might be what was coming through earlier when we were talking about that, and not having enough resources, and just maybe just put erasing and deleting, starting from afresh, starting again. Although it may seem like a pain in the butt to delete, to erase the whole page and then start writing again, that might be something that might be needed around this time. Just taking small consistent steps, that will be something that will help you shine your light and really do your purpose, and just never stop believing in something you're doing that you believe is your passion. That's what's coming through, because it's gonna give the fruits, and there may be, setbacks and stuff, but that's part of the journey. That's what they're saying. Let's read appreciation and gratitude now. Recognize the good qualities in others and openly share your gratitude with them. Write notes of thanks to those who have helped you. If someone deserves acknowledgement, take the time to let a superior or a colleague know so that they receive the recognition they deserve. Nature is continually sharing its beauty for us to appreciate. Beholding on a rainbow is a gift, and when we encounter a rainbow's beauty, it is the perfect time to be grateful for all the gifts in our lives. It is important to generate the positive flow of thankfulness that can bring joy into someone else's life. By doing so, you will not only decrease your stress, but will also generate the feeling of goodwill and love in your life. Exactly. That's the energy I was feeling. This is more like work related, I feel. So around this full moon, that might be the time. And I mean, at least in this part of the world, it's on Sunday. So starting your work week on Monday, like this might be something to think about, okay, and consider. And even you're just telling privately to that person, hey, thank you for getting our back in this project, or thank you for doing all of this that you do. Like this may be you letting your partner know, like, thank you for what you do every day, everything you do for us. You're receiving these thanks, also from these people, and yin yang energy, right? What comes goes. So as above, so below, like you letting also yourself receive this, and just really receiving it, really letting your shine your light. Because I feel like for a lot of you, it's just hard, right, to receive and maybe not get like, así. Let me just say it like this for my Spanish speakers: cuando se chivean porque les dan gracias por algo, porque no lo reciben completamente, porque no crecieron recibiendo eso. Entonces es difícil aceptarlo y recibirlo de los demás. But yeah, you're receiving it without embarrassment or shame or guilt. You know that you're receiving it and that somebody else isn't, or something of that sort. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be very like a key right now for around this full moon, to think about that. And also because they seems to be more collective, more community oriented kind of message. We got some community cards here, some like group labor or friends or your family dynamic. Yeah, your work dynamic, just paying attention to where it is being abusive, maybe where you need to step in for your group, or like saying like, okay, boss, this is not fair. Like tal person didn't do this, like they did this, because maybe they can't for themselves. But if you're a group, you're like one, you're as one. It's not just like each individual in the group. That's something that came through as well. This will create more flow in your own life, and you will stop feeling this stagnation of the hangman. You will start feeling like things really slowly but surely flowing. You will start taking some small steps. You will start forgiving, if anything happened around, or forgiving yourself for not doing things correctly before. Maybe you scold yourself too much, etc. So let's move on to the turtle, water element, ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. In the shelf, I was gonna say in its shell, but it is at home, is in its shell in a sense. And this water element that's surging here, the ancestral lineage that is contacting you around this full moon, which I don't even know the sign of this full moon this time, but it seems to be an element of water right here, the element of Atlantis and Lemuria. That's where they live. But yeah, something about the water element, your ancient roots from there are galactic as well. Galactic would be Mantaka constellation. That's where the water beings, the mermaid and such creatures and beings are contacting you maybe at this time. Maybe you would want to contact or meditate in your bath or something of this sort. It says, it is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers, as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all other books and begin to tell our own true tale. Yeah, that's the message I was feeling just intuitively before this. I was like, there might be, I know it's kind of like, maybe sometimes it's hard to give that time and energy to writing down your plans or journaling or whatever, but it gets you somewhere. It gives you great tools that you can go back to, your own tool booklet, so you can go back to. This could be in any sense, not necessarily just writing, but you can go back to it and grab from it and grab from these resources. There's a sense of like these resources might not be here later. Okay, so that might be something that you want to know. And the message just came through just for a specific amount of you. Some family members of yours might not be here later. And I mean like soon. So of course this could be for the majority elders. So maybe do talking to them and asking them questions, maybe writing them a message, a letter even might be great, like asking them some questions that you have, knowing a little bit more about them, or asking them about their ancestral roots. This might be something too. Okay, so it says, when in balance, peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, slows down to halt. But bring into balance and adventure. Yeah, there's also a sense of adventure because the unicorn card, gratitude and appreciation. Your childs have like nature, going out, letting its light shine, and connecting with these beings that, although they're in parallel dimensions and those lines of frequency and energy, they're also ancestral. If you think about it, like they've always been here, just like the turtles are ancestral as well. We have our prehistoric turtles and stuff. So how that, like, if you're interested in that, just go dive into it around this full moon. It might be fun. So let's read the affirmation cards. I remain a loving and compassionate witness to my thoughts and feelings. I remain a loving and compassionate witness to my thoughts and feelings. Yeah, just acknowledging all of that really will take you to knowing more about your true essence, what you truly love, like the shine your light was saying, and also these thoughts and feelings might come from messages from your own ancestors. You might not even notice, because it just feels like it's our own thoughts, honestly. But it depends when you start seeking a little more depth of where this is coming from, and then your reality changes. Yeah, there's something about the reality, because also the reality card, and there's dimensions that I was mentioning right now with the unicorn card, and all of this galactic and earth elder original civilizations. There's something about that. Yeah, let's read the reality. Faith is the most subtle thing, and it is also the most tangible. It is not imaginary. We must realize that it is reality. It is concrete and not merely an abstract sentiment of mere individual consciousness. Yeah, because imagination, it has to have a root, right? It has to come from somewhere. And that's something else that's coming through around this full moon. You might notice these things that I would do as a little boy or little girl, they'd come from somewhere, These things that I would see, these beings that would talk to me or whatever. Let's see. The other affirmation says, I give myself permission to set the pace in relationships in a way that honors my being and my safety. Yeah, just being careful and, of course, always discerning, right? Because we have the Six of Pentacles reverse and also the Five of Swords reverse. So this might be past people. I feel like for a lot of you, it might be exes, romantic exes coming around, or family that you stopped talking to for a long time, and now wants to come around. Like some sort of this, but just give yourself the permission and transmute that guilt and shame, like we were saying before, forgiving yourself for like even feeling this guilt and shame and treating yourself in a bad way. Just allow yourself that space and honor yourself by giving you this gift of just feeling safe and just being, Your ancestors would want that for you. They would want to crave that path for you to feel safe and for you to, do whatever you need to do to carve your own path right now. But considering that you don't always have to put others before you in some sort of way, because I think a lot of ancestors did that, and they even did that for us right now, in a sense. Right now, they're guiding us right now, but you're allowed to carve your own path. Don't follow, for example, your same religion that all of your family used to follow. You don't have to have a religion even, that's coming through. Now the last card is women. It says, all of the gods reside where women are properly honored. Where they are disrespected, all actions are in vain. Yeah, I think this has to be like with your feminine lineage of ancestors as well, maybe. And of course, there's a lot of depicted art here where female beings, of course. Yeah, this little girl with the unicorn, there's something about that, and just this beauty in it, being honored by letting yourself be held by also your masculine and whatever you consider is a divine guide, divine order, for the things that you create, that you embody, and letting it be held, because maybe there's a lot of trauma with order, because it's been abusive before, or because just the masculine energy, in a sense, and your ancestors have been abusive. There have been a lot of abusive men in your lineage, etc. It could be in all of those senses, But there's, again, the diamond shape. Yeah, and I just started bleeding today. So this woman card, it just comes in handy, like it comes in hand by hand with this energy that I was intuitively transmuting. Channeling for you, and also like being honored to receive these messages and to not reject my blood, for example, to move with it, to channel with it, because it's the time that women are most connected to the earth, in a sense, to the roots and grounding, and as above as below, and our crowns really open, our uterus really channel and share emotions for everyone, and it's all over like, whoa, okay, let's bring some order and structure and content those energies too, not just, throw them all around. That's why I decided to write today, because I knew if not, it would be chaos, it would be like all over the place, and I wanted to get a good channeling message for y'all. And I've never channeled as long as today, so that's another thing that resonates. But I hope you all are doing well, and that you all can honor your sacred feminine and art and divine creation and co-creation, with the most divine in each of yourselves. And that you also find the path and the direction to where to direct all that energy and that you do it for peace and for balance and for harmony, and to connect with others and grow and uplift each other. Okay? So I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.